I'm here with Christian Hammond of North Carolina State men's basketball, formerly of Santa Clara. Christian, thanks for joining me. To start, you guys had a historic season at Santa Clara, making the tournament for the first time since Steve Nash was there. What was it like to be a part of this group of guys in this team?
Um, I mean, it was definitely very special. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to watch these guys grow. I mean, I've been in the program for 3 years. I got to see these guys' work ethic and how they work every day. And a couple of these guys I've been with for my 3 years here, and then known guys for a while here. And it's just amazing just to see all of us, just go out there, really give it our like just give it our all. And like we think we really gel together, real quick. You know what I mean? And I know people always would say like, oh, it's been 30 years, but we had one chance as this team to get there, and that's what we did. So it was just great to make it there well with these guys.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you guys were a 10 seed in the NCAA tournament, played Kentucky, and probably what was one of the more exciting games of the tournament. I mean, it was neck and neck the entire time, but the last 10 seconds in particular is what everyone's going to remember from that game. And you have the unique perspective of being on the court for that. What was the roller coaster of emotions like in that final 10 seconds? Lead change, lead change, lead change, going overtime.
Well, really, just I know we're on defense. We were like, oh, we're trying to get a stop. No threes at that point because we're down by or we're up by two, so like a three beats you. You know what I mean? So we're just
Mhm.
trying to force twos. We got a layup. We came down. I mean, just as a player though, like with that team on the court, I was very confident in all those guys. Saj, Allen, Elijah, Jake, like everyone can make plays, make shots. So really just go up there, try to get a good action going and really try to just create an advantage to get a shot. Allen hit it. Definitely emotions were high in that moment just because
Mhm.
you think you've won the game, just winning the tournament, winning a tournament game, especially against a great program like Kentucky, you know what I mean? And then well, I was under the basket actually when the ball went through. Me and Allen were down there and he shot it and it looked like it was a hard shot. Like we thought it was just gonna hit the backboard, come off. So you kind of like, if you watch it badly, we kind of like stumble a little bit to go like run to like go celebrate, and then it went in, and it was crazy. Just tried to keep composure though. As you know, you got to go out there. I think it's 5 minutes in overtime, so just go out there, stay poised, and just go out there and try to perform and just try to win the game at that point.
Yeah, and obviously, of course, you guys came up short, but still just an incredible experience to be there.
Yeah,
I mean, can you just describe what it's like to play in the NCAA tournament with the NCAA logo on the court and everything like that?
yeah. No, it's definitely a cool experience. Stuff you dream about as a kid.
Hmm. So now, after your 3 years at Santa Clara, of course, redshirted one, played two. Now you're off to North Carolina State. How did those conversations start when you entered the portal?
Um, like conversations start as far as
Like going to NC State, who's reaching out to
oh
you, what schools you
yeah.
talking to, things like that, and how do you ultimately
Um,
end up at North Carolina State?
Um, yeah, I heard from a decent amount of schools, you know what I mean? And really just came down to, just NC State just really made me feel special, you know what I mean? And then obviously you get on the Zooms and, do all the calls with everybody and just like their process and the coaching staff. I really love the coaching staff and I really trust and believe in them, obviously to put pieces together, get guys, and then also just play a style of basketball that's gonna win games, you know what I mean? So really just the coaching staff just I just saw how invested they were and how much they cared about basketball, which was a big thing for me. And then just like the culture of the school when I went on my visit, it's incredible. Something I've never experienced before. So, and just Coach Gainey's just a great guy, very personable, and I really believe in him. I trust in him as a coach. So,
Yeah, speaking of Coach Gainey, first year hit NC State, taking over for Will Wade. That was a big story during the end of the season, him exiting NC State. You were the first guy to commit to this team. So, what's it like, when you commit, you're the only guy on the roster. Oh, there's a couple of guys on the roster from last year, but I think maybe three guys. So what's it like being the first guy to commit and saying, hey, I trust you with your vision?
um, yeah, I guess. I've thought about this a little bit. Just I feel like people think it's definitely like a risk. You know what I mean? You don't really know what's gonna happen. Um, with obviously being the first person to commit. Like, you don't really know how it goes. But just with that, I'm a big man of faith. You know what I mean? I really believe in God and I'm a Christian. So um yeah, like it just felt right. And something I prayed about for so long. So there was never any doubts in my mind to what's gonna happen because I trust my Lord with that plan. You know what I mean? I
For
feel like he's
sure.
gonna make
Yeah.
that way for me. So, there's really no stress or worry about that.
Yeah. I mean, currently, I think there's five guys on the roster, but one of them you're going to be playing with, who's also in the NCAA tournament, Preston Edmeade, coming over from Hofstra, freshman of the year in the CAA, for those who don't know him. How excited are you to be sharing the backcourt with this guy?
I'm super excited. Definitely. We texted a little bit, just connected. Just definitely watched some of his film. very talented, freshman to young guy. So for him to be able to, step up and perform the way that he did, you could just tell that he's a special talent. And being able to play alongside guys with high IQ and great offensive ability and just that are winners that know how to win games. It's special. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to watching you guys together. It's going to be one of the more exciting backcourt duos in the country, in my opinion. So, getting this your career so far, what's the favorite road arena you've played at so far?
Mm, mm. That's a good one. Um, well, I'll say like the three that I really liked, Gonzaga
Mm,
obviously is one, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been there, my time here. You see what it's like with the student section and
hmm
just the kind of atmosphere they create is amazing. So Gonzaga is definitely up there. I definitely think St. Mary's is good. It's a hostile environment, you know what I
hmm
mean? Smaller gym, very nice. This year, yeah, I'd have to go with the Xavier. Very, very beautiful arena.
Oh
Great
yeah, over in
fans.
Cincinnati, Fifth
Yeah.
Third, and you guys won that game by about 20 points. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
definitely
nah.
a win-win heading to a Big East school and be able to take that. Yeah, of course, I have in the East Coast. I haven't made it out to any of those arenas yet. But heading
Yeah.
to the ACC now, other than your new home arena out in Raleigh, which
Hmm.
one are you most excited to play in next year? Of course, it might not work out with the scheduling, not playing every team
Yeah.
twice, but what would you be most
Yeah.
excited to play in?
Duke. I think that's a no-brainer for me. Yeah, just Duke, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you grow up watching them, play on TV and stuff like that. So then, being able to go out there and perform against them, it's going to be very amazing environment. You can see the atmosphere, on TV, stuff like that. So just very excited to go out there and compete against those guys.
Yeah, I mean, my three I think would be Duke, UNC, and Louisville. Those three
Yeah,
arenas seem awesome to play
absolutely.
in. Yeah. So let's talk about just real quick some of the pressing issues in the world of college basketball right now. One of them being the new eligibility rules that are proposed. I know the president of NCAA was talking about this morning the 5 years to play 5 years. As someone who redshirted, what's your take on that?
Um, Wait, so pretty much like you have 5 years to play
Yeah, you
five
can play
years,
five
right?
years within a 5 year period. There's no red shirts or anything like that. You get
Um,
5 years off the rip.
yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, if I'd have known that, I'd have played. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's all. I mean, it all works. I feel like they come up with new stuff about eligibility and who can play, and people have came down from the G League, been in the college for seven,
Mhm,
8 years. I feel like it's different. I feel like I mean, everybody has their own path. You know what I mean? And I really
mhm,
feel like if this rule can benefit guys that just haven't got the opportunity to actually play and experience college basketball, then I think it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like some people are able to come in and play as a freshman. Like I said, everyone has a different path. So
mhm,
I think really just whatever benefits the kids the most, you know what I mean? With um just as big as the transfer portal's gotten, I just, I mean that's its own like separate thing. Just because,
mhm,
it definitely hurts high school kids and then COVID year could hurt high school kids, stuff like that. But just I just think the NCAA should just do whatever's best for the kids,
for sure.
make the sport fun and, allow everyone to compete in it.
Absolutely. I love that take. What's best for the student athletes, that should be top priority moving forward. And
Mhm.
one other thing to that, how about tournament expansion? The talk of moving to 76 teams, yay, nay?
Mm. I don't know. I don't really have a super strong stance on that just because um I think the select 68, I think it's such a special thing to make it in
Hmm
that it could make it a little bit broader. But if there are teams that are deserving and are that talented that have the chance of missing out, then I mean I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it's all the best basketball teams in the country should be able to compete against everybody. You know what I mean? So
For sure. And then probably the most important question I have for you, heading to North Carolina from the West Coast, which North Carolina fast food restaurant are you most excited for? They got a lot of chicken places down there that you might not have had on the
ah,
West Coast.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've had Bojangles in South Carolina, and I know they have that there, so I'm excited to
Mhm.
have that again. That's good. Zaxby's is good. They don't got that over here. Um, Really just the barbecue though. Like the
Yeah.
barbecue over there is amazing. So if
Mhm.
there's any barbecue spots, my Instagram is open just to all food suggestions. Like I
We'll be
need to
sure
know
to let
places.
people know, let you know where to
Yeah,
get some barbecue and rally.
yeah, for sure.
All right, and thank you. I appreciate it.
Mhm.